Hi, I'm Zoe Amma, and in this final video in our series, I want to share some thoughts on how you can begin to develop your AI roadmap for the next phase of where you're going as a large charity. Now, all of these ideas come from the Charity AI Leadership Accelerator program that we've recently been running in partnership with Microsoft. The end of that program involved leaders developing their roadmaps. So I want to share some things which I know those leaders found really useful in planning their next steps, and also some things which are going to save you some time as you make those plans for the future. Now, you will have hopefully seen the first 3 videos in this series. If you haven't seen them already, I strongly recommend that you have a look at that. The first video was about understanding that changing landscape that your charity is operating in internally and externally. The second was about how you can start to develop the right governance that will help enable AI innovation. And the third video was about how you manage the change that goes with adopting these technologies further. So now you've done all of that thinking, what I would recommend is that you bring all of that together into a roadmap that's going to help you take those next steps forward based on a really good evidence base of the work that you've done. So the first thing that you can do, and you might want to report this back up to your board, to the rest of your leadership team, is now you've done that work on assessing your current state and beginning to identify what your future state with AI might look like, based on the videos and ideas that we shared earlier, is to report that back to your colleagues. So to give a really honest, well evidence assessment of this is where we are, this is how we're using AI, these are the opportunities and challenges. And remember some of those things I talked about in terms of doing internal surveys, doing some interviews, talking to the people who your organisation works with about how they're using AI. You'll have lots of insights that you can share, and you can also report back on how other organisations who are similar to you are using AI. So bring that together and share that with your colleagues. The second thing that we talked about during the series of videos, and you want to refine that based on the insights that have come from the discovery work that we just talked about, is to start to articulate what that vision for success looks like. So based on what we have done, what we have learned, what we have seen out there about how AI is changing the world that our charity is operating in, what are we aiming for? What does success look like? So creating a vision for change that you can galvanize people around will be really important in helping you make the right decisions about where you go next, and also help guide staff on where they should and shouldn't be using AI. The next phase of you using AI, and something that will be a key consideration for any AI roadmap, is looking at where you will need to build your capabilities. By now you will have got the lie of the land in terms of the skills that you have looked at, looking at your infrastructure as well. We talked about that a bit in the other video, looking at the state of play with your data as well. So firstly, looking at where you can start to develop some AI champions across your organisation, and also where you can start to develop those leaders who've got expertise in different areas of AI in different teams, and to start to share those skills together will be really important in making sure they don't just remain clustered in one place. Then the final thing that I would recommend is to look at how you build in some proper success management. So the large charities I've worked with who are really starting to make great progress in AI are the ones who've been tracking the time that they've been saving or not, certainly sort of measuring the impact of the testing that they're doing, whether it's saving time, whether it's saving money, whether it's improving the well-being of their staff by lightening the load, looking at what you're going to measure there is going to be really important. Maybe that's about streamlining your processes, for example. So defining what the value is that you're creating there, and what that might mean for how you might scale your use of AI potentially if you've identified some areas where it's going especially well. Then the other area you might look at when you're measuring success is metrics that are really about impact. And in many ways, I think these are the most important. So maybe you're reaching more people, perhaps AI is helping you provide better services, perhaps you're improving outcomes for people. You will know what the difference is that you are making best. But looking at what those metrics will be in impact are going to be really key and going to be especially critical to how you make decisions. Efficiency is important, but achieving your mission even more effectively is going to be absolutely vital. And then finally, a slightly overlooked area that doesn't get talked about nearly enough is what some of those qualitative measures of success might be. So maybe it might improve your staff satisfaction with their jobs if we're removing a bit of the admin burden from them. Maybe you might be getting good feedback from the people you support, because due to using AI, you might be able to get back to people quicker or give them advice more quickly. Anything that you can point to, that you can track, that helps you understand the difference you're making and whether what you're testing or doing is successful or not will be really, really useful. So I hope that's been helpful. If you would like more resource and more support for leaders in AI, please do follow the link at the end of this video. And please do have a look at the other videos in this series if you haven't already. Thank you.